Wonderful vibes. I'm SharlotChi. In today's video we will break down what it truly takes to activate sacred geometry, to activate numerology, to activate your ascension. Why is the tree of life in a new pattern? Why is it important to have been activating that tree of life, how it works with the entire system that is what most people know as the chakra system. Why do we need to upgrade that chakra system? So here, let me explain that it is massively important to activate that entire tree of life, or the new tree of life at least, because the old tree is dead and gone. It is gone with the old earth, so we are living in what I term light earth. Living light is grounding massively. The planet is turning its position back into its origin. We need to move with it, bringing more and more photonic light to the planet. That brings to loads of shift in the brain, loads of things changing, happening, purifying, especially all over the globe. And so we need to move with that. And thus we have actually an energy field that is termed, what most people know as well, the I am presence. So the I am presence is actually an activation of a light body that contains the 12 first ways of creation, that are also the 12 first Sephirots on the tree of life, and they all have colors in our system, not in the old chakra system, in the new. So let me explain how that works, because I will go through all the 22 spheres of light that we actually have on the tree of light, what they contain, how to activate them, what it takes, and why it is so important to have the entire, at least I am presence, activated to start opening up sacred geometrical patterns that can go very far, and many unknown geometrical patterns are opening up right now as well. So it can be anything in sort of a constructural, more or less architectural design, because the universe is very precise. Think about the construction of the capstone, think about the pyramids, think about how they were built with pure thought form, and that is very important. So if you have anything connected in your body and your energy field that is, let's say, a little bit off, that is causing distress, diseases, malfunctioning in any area of your life, then chances are that particular sphere of light is, you know, in a deviated sort of street, deviated from its highway to the divine, is how I term it, and it's easy to understand. So here I will explain what is most important here, to go to the entire tree of life. As you know, the chakra system, I will elevate it through it, although the entire energy field sets up quite differently from the chakra system, the 12-13 chakra system. So with shortest explanation, let's start with the red way. That is the root center. That is where most problematic static with finances come through, with a complete overhaul in economics. If you're not well rooted and all the other centers are also off, we cannot possibly merge the chakra as a sphere. They need to merge into one pillar of light, because originally we are a simple pillar that contains all 22 ways. So here, that particular root center is connected to the red ray. It's connected also to, for example, the geometry of an 8-pointed red ray star. It's connected as well to the Red Sea. It's connected as well to, let's say here, the red rocks in Petra, the fire engine, the fire that needs, you know, to flow with everything. So anywhere where the fire is obstructed, chances are your air in the body is obstructed. Chances are as well many other elements in the body, such as the water, emotional content, does cut your fire down. So that happens, and that comes through the Sephirot of the red ray, connected as well here, especially the red ray, the number 8. It is connected also to many red gemstones, but the Burma ruby is the most important one to activate that and move that all the way up. And then we have the second center that almost broke most women on the planet, and reason why we have these centers, these 3 lower centers, so much off, so much bloated, especially if this woman here who birthed children, because that center has been killed the most. It's the creative center. It's a center of new creations coming through. They are trying to stop these new creations. It's where all communication about education comes through. That has been killed as well. So it's quite natural. You feel a little bit of that comes to the orange ray, connected to the light language of Bait, or the Hebrew letter Bait. Light language in the English language is also very active. It's also connected to the Chinese language that comes through the word of strength, pure creator strength. That is the power in itself to activate it. That is very beautiful as well. Connected to, for example, carnelian. It is also connected to the fire opal in Mexico. We have the beautiful fire opal from Madagascar. We also have amber. So all these orange rays, and especially the tangerine from Afghanistan. So the country I'm mentioning is very important. So if we move that up to the solar center, how often do we see people walking like they need to carry the whole weight of the world, or overweight, not being able to release that weight? That means you're disconnected from home, you're disconnected from Shambhala. The yellow ray comes through the Hebrew letter Hey. The Hey is completely off because the solar system was broken, and now we have been repairing the entire solar system so we can move through the galactic system back into the universe. We have been given everything to create that ascension and to get rid of that. So of course, number 1 here would be citrine. Citrine from Brazil is great. I am fond of citrine of Russia, especially if you have your throat center completely off. They will work in tandem, as many systems just need to work in tandem to get one pillar of light that contains all 22 colors. So here, this is just an explanation you may benefit from, and just apply one way at a time, because a way, Sephirot, a letter, a number, needs to be activated on a daily rhythm, actually, for at least 1 week to have the results. But let me tell you this, if you do that and you truly do it consistently, you change 360 degrees in just a very short amount of time. So the next level up, where is a lot of turmoil going on, of course, the heart center that was being cut off. It is connected not to what you may find on Google machine, because if it can be off, it would put it off. So that's the pink way, the pink sapphire, that is the pink tourmaline, the pink way connected to the Hebrew letter Vav in the sacred name Yod Vav Hey. So we have 2 times Hey connected, gentleman and the lady vibration, back into the host of light with through the heart center represented by the Vav. So you can see that just toning one letter or the sacred name and putting things in it, it activates massively, because the entire sphere of the pink way is exactly interlinked with the high heart. I come back later on the high heart because it's the most important activation, and it needs to link in with everything I'm explaining here. So if you're staying to the end, you have a complete vision of what it takes to activate that tree of life. Because if we go up all the way from the heart activation into the throat, that comes to the dog eyelid way, that is very black purple, black blue purplish, very, very dark. That is the activation of the communication, telepathic communication. That is the receival of telepathic messages. That is enjoying the power of the word, not having any falseness on the tongue anymore, speaking truth at all times, because when that is activated to the fullest, it merges brain and heart together. So, and that doesn't allow for any mistruths to be put on the table of creation. Plus, it also, whenever anybody comes in communication with you, they will feel they cannot pull lies, let's say lies or any falseness on that table, which comes in very handy. And that is the reason why the throat center, the thyroid, the parotoid glands, little glands at the back of your neck have been cut out. The first and the highest level geometrical patterns come to the throat and the heart center, of course, merging the brain. So here that it's very interesting how the higher ways beyond the first 12 ways of creation open all these geometrical patterns. That starts off with the I am presence activated with these 12 ways. So that is important in the all-seeing eye, when being overriding actually the glandular system, opening up the capstone. So the physical eyes, the eye of the divine, can open up, and that is connected to the granite way. So the granite way is very, very strong. It makes you see inside out. It's connected to the eye of the tiger. The eye of the tiger directs you into the omni eye. The omni eye is linked in with the all-seeing eye, that is the invisible way, is connected to mountains, to numbers, to a very special geometrical pattern. And so that opens up quite immediately when activating that on a level beyond soul. That is your spiritual embodiment in the celestial degree. So the celestial embodiment is a new embodiment, also 12 celestial bodies, 12 Shambhala bodies, 12, 13 universal bodies, and then we move into the omnipotent in the eternal vibrations, because everything is connected to the golden chemistry, the golden alchemy, that is the eternal vibrations linking in. And so that opens up the crowning glory here all the way with the lavender way. The lavender has been misunderstood massively, especially in the region where we know, with the activations of King Arthur, and that is also the Irish waves and Stonehenge, and they have a lot of activations. Also in the Oxford University, for example, hosts massive scribes or knowledge that are unknown till today. And so that is truly the magic opening up that starts to communicate with all the 12 chakra systems. So we have here 7, and the upper 5 above need to merge with the 7 within, creating an I am 12 way presence, opening the 13th Christ-light embodiment actually. So and that particular lavender way, the magic of Merlin is connected to it, the Brazilian amethyst is connected to it, the hematite is connected to it, the scapolite is connected to it, the amethyst from Thunder Bay region in Canada, the amethyst from Peru, so and many more, just to give you an idea. But the first one to start with would be the amethyst from Brazil. That's the one I'm wearing right here, and I just saw a black butterfly. That's the omnipresent. And so that is bringing more and more joy, more and more fun to the equation, because it's time that people want to relearn that. People want to know, not just, you know, the theory and you know, the entire book of knowledge needs to come into the open, so we can work with it, activate it, have your shifts and changes every day, and not going to that long lonely road, because we're moving so fast into oneness. So when listening to the video, you're definitely being part of the unified fields, moving into oneness, because we're all together in it and assisting each other on higher scales. So right here above we have green light go, and that is reason why it's termed the bridge of light. We create a bridge from the crown where you start to channel your information, receive the waves, and feel everything from the inside out. And that green light go needs to merge here also within the high heart center. The high heart center is the thymus. The thymus gland needs to be reactivated into 1000% immunity to disease, to density, to negativity, whatever you term it is perfectly okay. And that thymus gland is the high heart activation, where your higher self, that I term the spark self, it's actually the same. So you have that communication from the descendant and the ascending spark self moving as one that talks to you 24/7, and then your life becomes interesting because you hear what is divine consciousness, what is directing you to where you need to go, instead of deciphering what is right or wrong, because that spark would speak or give you the answer before you have the question out. And when you have that, you're always correct. So no more fishing after the answer. That is very interesting as well. And then so the green way is very, very important to activate. Above that, the blue way, of course. And then we have the white way, the black, and the golden way. So all these are very important, because it's reason why we've been held back and been living in low degrees of consciousness, in sort of a prison, if you will, and we're moving out of that right now. So here everybody can have its highway into freedom, because it's all in the open. So here the blue way, when loading that is being felt right here, right now, very, very potent, because it is the way of truth. It when activating the Sephirot comes with the Hebrew letter Lamed, I'm sorry, I didn't explain. The green way comes with the Hebrew letter Aleph. When you look at Aleph, it creates a cross, and a cross brings the midpoint of unification. So that's very interesting. So that was for the green way. Above that, the blue way, and that is with Lamed. Dark blue, all use of blue, very blue, is truth, is faith, is moving on, and knowing also that the activation creates the flow. It's the only way that truly creates the flow in the body. So whenever you're stuck, you work with the blue way, white purification, you are good to go. It's a huge activation with many geometrical patterns in the pituitary gland, relinking the amygdala region, but also the pineal gland, and they allow for new geometrical codes to open up because it flames the truth out. And when you host that, so your energy field expands on that Sephirot with the Hebrew letter Aleph, then it expands through the hood, and then it settles and brings these waves through, meaning truth will lift or come from the ground level up. And that is reason why you are seeing so much truth levels opening up right now. Above that is the 3 higher centers that have been held back. We all needed to go through the most important way, that is the white way, purification. Why I'm saying this is it's connected to this Sephirot that links into the Hebrew letter Kaf. And as we see, everything to the white ray is the currency that is off, being replaced by spiritual currency. We can see prices going like it's a trampoline or some joyful place on some side, but that is going to collapse. So white is purification within. It's all the organs, it's the crystallization, it's the heart circulation, it's the rewiring of your brain. It's seen in the economics that are off, it's seen in politics, it's seen in housing, it's seen, it entails everything, because it is behind the scenes of every other way and works together with its companions. That is the invisible way, and the invisible way works together with the aquamarine origin of this planet, and then we open that up in with the spiritual body that is the amethyst embodiment, and so you have it all running, so to speak. So that is important, and that has been repaired. It comes with crystalline white light grids, also through the oceans. It comes with a crystal that is the most important, that is the Arkansas pure crystal. Flows as well with the Brazilian crystal and the laser quartz of Brazil. Adding white now, because the repair has been going on for 25 years now, with many people like me activating it all over the globe. And now what has been added is especially the Brazilian amethyst crystal sphere has been added, especially to clear out the ocean. So working with the white ray in your circulation, in your intestinal tract, through your brain, your glandular system, the crystallization of the body and the beauty of the skeletal structure. So there is a lot to learn, but do know white and blue is very important with purple, and your fire with the red ray. Reason why you need, or it would be great to get to know your tree of life and work with your tree of life. That is essentially the I am presence opening up in the omnipresence. And the omnipresence takes with it all the 10 higher rays. But let us, finish up here. So we had the green, the blue, the white purification. Above that, we just have actually the universe we are working with right now. That is the omnipotent black universe. We see inside out, crystal clear to the black. Remember, the black allows for all colors to come through. The black allows transparency. Most think it's a void. There's no such thing as a void. You just move in crystalline eyes to it, and you see what is happening when activating it with the black crystals. It is connected to a very powerful team. It is connected to the Hebrew letter Tzadi. If you hear that sound, Tzadi, you feel the power, right? And and of course, most black crystals that you know are very, very good. So we have the tourmaline from many countries, started with black tourmaline from Brazil, and we have the gold obsidian, we have the rainbow obsidian, we have the obsidian that makes up the immortal omnipresence embodiment. And that is the reason why we couldn't reach it, because we need to move to the white purification first. That makes sense. And truth. Purification, so Christ and Buddha. Buddha is blue way, Christ is white way. Both merging up, we can move into the, from the I am presence in the omnipresent. And of course, we need to work with all 12, 13 ways. And so it is the most the strongest way that is all there. If anything goes off or anything doesn't work, I can guarantee you work with the black way. I know it merges also with the immortal spine. We open up the spine with the pillars of light, when the pillars of light that make up all the first 12 ways. So after the black comes the culmination with the golden chemistry, golden ley lines, the golden ley lines under the earth, the golden acupuncture points, the golden spin points, the golden grids. They allow for the waves within each of these 12, 13 ways. 13 makes up the clear way. To function, to open up a function. And so here all these 13 first spheres of light, when activating, working with them as a way, as a color, with a letter, with a number, and all together making up the I am presence, that is the new tree of life. Around that, because some say it's 12, some it's 13, the 13 makes up the crystalline sphere around it that comes to a crystal clear crystal from Madagascar. It needs to be Madagascar, the others wouldn't work. And that is also termed the Master Soul Stone. It is the Philosopher's Stone, and that particular stone of protection that links and connects, unifies with the entire cosmos, with all the teams, all angelic kingdom, every sentient being in existence, everything in creation, in divine will at least, is linked in, and they all have that same model of form of light. So if you're still in the old Merkaba, chances are you don't move up, and you can see them people doing that. The energy field is like closing off all the time. So once you move into that energy field, that is a diamond of light, and then a diamond of light in the crystalline sphere around that diamond, that is termed the Makiva actually, then the higher ways that come, that open up in the omnipresent, can activate. So here, one of the most difficult ways that would be, or let's take one of the most easiest ways that naturally open up and should open up, that is the crystal clear transparent way. The transparent way completes actually the I am presence and does the 13th way as well. So working with that, that is fabulous. That is fabulous because you channel just massively inside out, but you need that I am present activated, and so you actually integrate, or more or less insulate 20, 30, 40, 50, 60%, 70% of that transparent way. You start to see and hear. It's fun to work with that. When you have the activation, it works, and it goes through a month of activation process. Then it opens up as well and moves smoothly with the immunity that comes through with the turquoise way. The turquoise way is one of the most important native ways that is very, very easy to activate sacred geometrical patterns because it opens it up. It grounds a new currency in the body. It opens up the spiritual currency. It activates immediately. It shows you the geometrical pattern from within, especially the high heart throat. And here, so an example of this is I had the turquoise dodecahedron right here. The turquoise as well, 6-pointed star. These spokes, these are connected to the golden alchemy and ley lines, reason why I left them on the geometrical patterns, so you become aware of that. And then the eye that opens, the transparent eye, aquamarine eye, the all-seeing, omnipresent black eye. So they come all in the brain, and that was so easy. After that, you get new patterns, you get envelopes such as this for the white purification to open up your instruction. And then, so opening that up, one of the most important and beautiful ways would be the pearlescent ray. The pearlescent comes with the Hebrew letter Tet, and that has a deep activation and a deep, one of the most deepest purifications, detoxification, shifts in consciousness into the higher living light realms that goes very, very fast. And it may make you go to a deep process with the omnipresence. So all the higher 10 ways are always activated in the omnipotent universe, the omnipresence, the omni-self, and what it entails to become one with the entire cosmos, being one with the one with the unified fields, one with everything in existence. And then after that, we have that activation coming through. That is also the silver way of success. The silver way of success is, of course, a huge heart activation because it flows with the cup of divinity. Of course, gold and silver needs to merge in the cup of divinity, opening up to white transparency. And again, the spiritual body, that is all of the amethyst rays, the lavender rays, and other ways that are very, very important and so beautiful to activate as well, because you will feel that it will be a need to have that white purification, Christ light, moving with the flow of Buddha, blue way, truth, opening up, and loads of technologies in between, and blue way geometries within here. An example here is a blue way cube with the immortal line activating. That is very important. And then we open up a truly spiritual royal way. That is one of my favorite, the burgundy way, the royalty of the divine, that only comes in when having moved out of dual consciousness, opening up into the spirit of self, and having trained with all the other ways. Exactly, otherwise it will not do anything, because you become a very subtle embodiment, as it is a very, very high vibration, actually opening up new highways to 1000% immunity to density, because it restructures the T and B cells. It is the first load into going beyond the present day DNA, RNA merging already, or that is happening before you even start the I am presence. So all these 12 strings become a new system. So if we want to transcend into the crystallization, open our omnipotent embodiment, then of course we move into a new form, a new style, a new embodiment. And that is where many I've seen are working upon, as myself as well, because it's part of my passion. activating and encoding the DNA is what I do presently, but also studying, so what it truly takes to move into the next cycle, the next system, if we have completed the I am presence into the omnipresence, and you will feel your ascension, you will feel the waves coming through, will no longer be anything airy-fairy, but something you can truly cling upon. So that is important to understand. And so another important way would be the spiritual embodiment that has the 3 amethyst ray or the amethyst ray activating. And beyond that, that is the way I was born with, and is actually my favorite out of all 22 spheres. And of course that would be the smoky quartz. All sorts of smoky quartz. I have rutilated smoky quartz, I have smoky quartz from all different countries. Africa is the most difficult or the hardest to work with, and that's the reason why, because there's so much hidden knowledge over there. So that smoky quartz will allow you to actually open that up, work with it. It will direct you when you start to see all the layers under the earth, under the ley lines, under the link with the crystalline grids being installed under the ground. It will direct you like I have that at times, like you're in a fun movie, right? But crystal clear, not in a dream. It's like people at times having that experience of near-death experience. That is how you will see things all of the time, but very much alive, so not dead or near dead or something. And that is one of my favorite. And then we also have here the completion. So here the burgundy moves with the calf, the silver moves with noon, the Hebrew letter noon, calf noon. And then we have also the amber way. The amber way comes actually after a huge activation has been taking place as well with the invisible way, because the amber is transparent as well. If you look at an amber gemstone, and we have amber in many different countries on the world, but it's also a feel-good way. It's it hosts a lot of knowledge in the higher degrees of geometrical pattern, because the geometries opening up with amber are completely different to the first 12, 13 rays making up the I am presence. And that is very fun to work with as well. And then we also have the copper way. The copper way, so that is also, of course, it's a linker. It links you in, it connects, it directs, because copper is an element that moves very, very fast, to my experience at least. And thus working with copper, infusing the copper way, linking it in, most of the time that opens up geometrical patterns that actually move vertical, and so it actually grounds through your feet, as you need to have your spiritual body, spiritual feet, spiritual eyes, spiritual brain open, so you actually see your own form, construction, or light body, whatever you term it, in complete transparency. And that is when it will start to work. And so it's connected also here. So the what was it, the amber is connected to the Hebrew letter Gimel. So that is very beautiful to witness. And just working with that letter on itself, it already activate a lot. So, and then if we move that up the ladder and we move these ways, so the first one that comes in is burgundy, and that comes calf, and then we have noon, gimel, samek for the copper way, And these are ways most people are not used to work with, but they have such a great outcome in the body because they feel a lot more light than the I am presence way, because you are moving into a living light embodiment that feels like feathery, very light, right? And that can only be integrated from the I am presence, moving in an celestial I am presence, in the Shambhala I am presence, and then the omnipresence merging in with the higher ways. And that is when things become interesting, as the Hebrew letter connected to the amethyst would be the Dalet. And that is the beauty that holds things like an I am presence could be held together as well to the lavender way, and that is knowledge you learn actually. So you learn a lot of technology with all the 22 ways, the 22 Hebrew letters, the English alphabet as well. Then there's some Chinese characters that play a big role in order to activate all that and open up these codes within the body. So each day it becomes more and more interesting. And so when completing the entire circumference with all the 10 higher ways actually, so it all comes down to the aquamarine way. Who doesn't love aquamarine, right? The aquamarine is a jet stream. It opens up everything. It is an extreme high vibration and comes through the aquamarine from Afghanistan. And so people would have a hard time finding those from Afghanistan, although now they're opening up easily right now. So I'm working with loads of crystals from Afghanistan, and because they are very important, because the aquamarine and the invisible way would also set all over the omnipotent, the omnipresence vibration that you are when completing your tree of life, or the new tree of life actually. And that is why the aquamarine grids, the sea level grids with the white purification, and many other sources and forces are grounding, and all these grids have already been set. And reason why it's pretty easy now to ascend beyond lower senses and rise into the higher senses, activating these very light vibrations into the higher light realms. It's where the book of knowledge Enoch comes into the equation, because without the I am presence there's no moving up into that knowledge that brings through the higher key codes, that brings the higher new geometrical patterns down. And because that is so interesting, that it's made so much in perfection, that when you have the diamond of light, and the diamond of light splits into two triangles, that's your spirit rising into the ascent, and you rise with the phoenix of the omnipotent universe. And then you open up the next level, the next form, the next cycle. So I'm very passionate about that as well. And so here to make it easier for, or interesting for people, if you want to join me every Monday at 7 p.m. Brussels time, it's open worldwide. I have a light code activation, a short Zoom presentation. If you want to join, it's for free. There's a link in the description. Or if you would like to be informed a lot more about what it takes to move into the I am presence, how to set that foundation, just subscribe to my newsletter. I will send you all the information. It's all for free, so no obligations ever, because we're living in a free world. We are connecting with free spirits, so you have an idea how to move into that empowerment vibration, because so much is coming through right now, and there is something for everybody. There's small courses, bigger courses, but activation is present. So I hope you enjoyed the video, you could learn something from it, and please do not hesitate to join us. I'll be back next week with a next video. Or if you have any question about the Tree of Life, what you can do, I mean, your entire life would change very, very quickly. So thank you so much for being with me. See you in the next one. I'm SharlotChi.